Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about anarchy. Now before I start, let me clear a couple things up. This is not propaganda. I am not trying to persuade you in any way. I am not trying to obligate you to any position. And the only reason I'm doing this is to conceal my identity. Good. Now that we're past that, let me inform you upon what anarchy is, besides the government propaganda. Anarchy is the belief of a governmentless society. It sounds horrifying at the ear touch, but that's only because of what you've been raised to think about the American government. The American government is a corrupt system that uses the people to drain it of its hard-earned money. Let me explain a couple things that would happen without a government. No wars, no occupation of territory, no taxes, class war, no economic collapse, no class war. Well, let me clear up a few questions you might have about anarchy. The most common questions are, what would we do? Without government, there wouldn't be order, there would be complete chaos. Which is not true. Let me tell you what the American government does. They occupy territory without ownership. Basically, they make the rules for landowners that have bought their land, who have the right to make the rules on their land. It's called private security, not national occupation. If you own land, you should be able to make rules based upon how you see what's right and what's wrong. If you build a city, if you make a city, or you're just living in an already made one, whoever owns the land gets to make the rules. You don't have someone else telling you how to live your life on your own land. And there would be order, and there wouldn't be chaos. People say, oh, well, what about outside of land? Well, you can occupy that land. You can buy it. You can own it. And then you can make your own rules. Some people might say, well, some places might make bad decisions and bad laws. Well, then don't go there. Pick some other place to go. And it's not likely to happen, because when you have smaller places and businesses that make their own rules, there's initiative. There's initiative to have a better business, not be corrupt, and be fair with its rules. Because there's competition. There are other small businesses. There are other landowners. And if you don't try your best, you could easily lose customers. Another thing without government, there would be less big corporations spreading out the currency and the wealth evenly. Let me explain how this works. Here we have a big business, let's say. Sam Walton owns it. And this little thing right here is a small business. What happens is Sam Walton buys a small business. That business is gone. He is bought out, he has money, and again, the wealth is not distributed evenly. What happens with big corporations is that the money concentrates at a pyramid at the very tip. And that money stays there, and if it doesn't, it goes into banks, away from the people. And then those big corporation owners are no longer spending money, they're spending something, credit. Credit is what people say, oh, I don't have money on me right now, but 2 years ago, I had $10,000. So they put it on a tab, and they have credit. Banks do this all the time. Banks only make money upon debt. Lower corporations, if you have small businesses, you have more business owners. With more business owners, there are more employees, better service, quality of product, and even spread of wealth. How does that work, you might ask? Instead of the small business owners putting them into a bank, they keep their money because they need to trade it often to buy things to improve their businesses for competition. It's a matter of currency being traded in and out. No credit, no fake money, and much more initiative to be the best on the block. Another thing people say is that without government, we wouldn't be able to enjoy the luxuries we have today. which is completely false because the government does not make the luxuries, they take the luxuries. People, just like you and me, make the luxuries. Let's say a small business, their profession is making TVs. That's good and great because then there's competition and we have better TVs. And people say, well, where would we get the supplies without a government to make all these luxuries? Even nowadays, where does government come in the finding of supplies? Does a man in a suit go down in a mine and mine gold? Or mine coal? No, people, just like you and me, do a job. All I'm trying to get you to realize is that there are other things behind it, and there is propaganda, and maybe you don't believe what I'm saying. But anarchy is not all it's bad. The government sends out propaganda to tell you that it's bad because they don't want us realizing that they're using us to drain every last dollar out of our hard-earned life. All I'm saying is that we need to unite, and we need to do something about the corruption of the United States government.